All right, I would like to welcome everybody to our parent meeting this year for T-Ball Spring 2024. Looking forward to a great season, and thank you for joining us. Real quick, I'm going to open this up in a word of prayer, and then we'll jump into the meeting. Father, I just come before you, and I thank you and praise you the opportunity to get to play the game of T-Ball. Pray for each of the young athletes as they are playing the game, that they would just enjoy their time with friends, they would enjoy their time running around, and they would be able to burn off some energy as they practice and as they play. Lord, I thank you and praise you just for this opportunity. I pray that lives might be touched through the season this year, Lord, and that you would just guide and direct us in each and every step. Thank you and praise you and ask all these things in Jesus' name. All right. Well, first and foremost, I would like to welcome everybody to our spring T-ball season this year. This meeting will be posted on Friday, March the 15th, Friday, March the 15th. And so we're just a few days away from practice. So a couple things before we get into practice. I just want to share kind of the mission and vision of the Tifft Area YMCA and really the reason behind why we do what we do here with the sports. And so for the mission of the YMCA, our mission is to put Christian principles into practice and really help build healthy mind, spirit, and bodies for all. And in that, we strive to put God first in everything that we do on and off the field. And so if there's ever anybody that has questions about that, I'd love to talk with you. I've had several people in the past, but that is always an open invitation. You'll see me bouncing around at the fields somewhere doing something. So I did want to start with that. But going from there, as far as what to expect, what to look for, dates and things like that with the season, what I'm fixing to do is I'm actually going to share our information sheet on the screen. That way you can view it there. So you should be able to see on the screen, this is our information sheet for T-Ball 2024. So our first practice is Tuesday, March the 19th. That is this upcoming Tuesday, March the 19th. Our last game will be May the 2nd, 2024. Down here, our first game will be April the 9th. So normally we'll have 2 weeks of practice. We generally try and take off Tifft County's spring break week. Now, I will say there might be a coach or two that might still want to try and have practice during that. If they're able to have a team, we do allow that if the coach schedules it, but we do not put anything during the week of Tifft County's spring break on the schedule. I will say Tifft Area's spring break, I think, falls on a different week than Tifft County's this year. And so we do have practice scheduled during that week. I know several of the coaches might be from Tifft Area, so they might need a parent to fill in for that night. But I will say that as far as now in the parent meeting. As far as times, dates of the week. So this right here, the time that is on this information sheet is our game time. 5:30 for the 3 to 4 year olds, 6:30 for the 5 to 6 year olds. That is our game time. Now, practice time is going to be a little bit different just because we have a limited amount of fields and we want to be able to allow everybody to practice and have some space. So for the 3 to 4 year olds, your practice will either be at 5:15 or at 6. It's 5:15 or 6. For the 5 to 6 year olds, your practice will be at 6:45. That is for practices only, not for games. Once that's, like I said, games will be at 5:30 and 6:30. As far as the location of everything, everything will be at the YMCA Hunt Park. I'm going to show the picture of the fields in a minute, but the address is 1823 Westover Road, Tifton, Georgia. If you need to, kind of rewind and get that over again if you need to. As far as days of the week, as of right now, everything we have is scheduled on Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesday and Thursday at the times just mentioned. We'll have, I believe it's about 7 weeks. So we got 2 weeks of practice off spring break, and then we'll have 4 weeks of games is what we have scheduled. Which leads into the next thing. So one thing right now, the way the leagues are shaping up, we have right at enough for 6 teams in the 3 to 4 year olds, and right at 3 teams in the 5 to 6 year olds. So the 5 to 6 year olds, they will look a little bit different than maybe in years past. So with it being an odd number of teams, what we will do is we're going to schedule 2 teams will play games, and the third team will have a practice where they can kind of scrimmage against themselves, work on some skill development, and the next week it'll rotate, and that way everybody will kind of rotate through. Everybody's going to have their own. Everybody's going to have their own information regarding um, their own practice days. Excuse me. Everybody will have their own practice days throughout the season. That way, it's not just game, 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 game. There will be a little bit of time to kind of work on some skills and start teaching them some of the fundamentals, because that's one of the things that really at the young age we want them to enjoy it, and we want to start implementing a few basic concepts that they can build off of in the years to come. So we do not expect anybody to, be coming out and hitting grand slams or anything like that, but really just trying to teach them the fundamentals. Hey, here's how you hold the bat in the 5 to 6 year olds. Hey, here's how you, stand with your feet. Hey, here's the right base to run to in the 3 to 4 year olds. Hey, here's, make sure you stop the ball with your hand that's wearing a glove. Don't just, kick it or grab it or different things like that. That is really the very elementary concepts is what we are trying to teach in these age groups. And so with that being said, in our 3 to 4 year old age group right now, we currently only have 4 coaches. If we're able to get 2 more coaches, we will hopefully expand to 6 teams. However, if we do not, we will only be able to have 5 teams, which means the teams will have a few more players per team. So if there is anybody that's interested in coaching, you probably have already gotten an email or 2 or 3 asking about the coaches. But if you are interested in coaching, please email me, seth@tiftareaymca.org. And I would love to give you more information regarding the coaching, different times and different things along those lines. And so we've got that going on. As far as what to expect at the first practice. So during our coaches meeting, I told all the coaches, at the first practice, please ask all of the parents to come and check the roster. So if you would please, at the first practice, this upcoming Tuesday, March the 19th, please check the roster. The few things I asked to make sure are correct is, number one, that your child's name is spelled correctly. Sometimes it gets entered into the system. 1 or 2 digits might be wrong or something along those lines. And so the T-ball, they do have trophies at the end of the season, and I want to make sure that your child's name is spelled correctly. So if you wouldn't mind, please check in to make sure that is spelled correctly. We're also asking that you check and make sure that the shirt size is correct. This goes for if you ordered an additional shirt for the parents. Please make sure that that is on there. In some cases, if it is circled, the front desk might not have seen it and might not have charged it. And if it was not charged, it was not added. And in some cases, if they have to go back in after the fact and try and do it, then in that case, it might not have been entered in the system. So please make sure that if you ordered any of those, that they are all on that roster as well. And the last thing that I ask everybody to check is just please make sure that the contact information is correct. That way the coach can contact you as far as your phone number, your email is both just spelled correctly on the information sheet. That way the coach has the most recent update as far as for contact information for. Moving right along with the meeting, I do want to share the screen one more time, and I'm going to show you this picture of the fields. So as you see, this is kind of an overview of what the fields are. I don't know if you can see my mouse or not, but right here is entrance. Right here is an entrance in between the arenasium, which is our pickleball courts, and a parking lot over here that's dirt. This is parking lot 3 is a paved parking lot. Parking lot 1 is a gravel parking lot. For the T-ball, everything is going to be on field 7, 8, 9, and 10. Our games, once they start, will pretty much primarily be on 7 and 8. If we have 6 teams in the oldest age group, or the 3 to 4 year old age group, then they will be on field 9 as well. So during the practices and games, feel free to come park in parking lot 3. If you do, please make sure to park within the lines. That way, there's a lot of people that will be there, and we try and fit as much in. That way, people are not having to walk too terribly far if possible. There's also over here off the screen, it's not pictured, but there's some grass that you can park in along this right here, along the entrance, as well as a pecan orchard that you can also park in as well for the upcoming season. And so I did want to share this with you. We will have a concession stand and bathrooms around back. At the concession stand, we'll be selling hamburgers, hot dogs. During the games, we'll also have chips, drinks, candy, different things like that during the practices and games as well. So we'll have that up at the concession stand. Now for pictures on picture day. In the past, they've been over here off of field 6. However, last year we moved it in the fall to under the Airnasium. So all of our pictures this year are going to be under the Airnasium. Please make sure you enter right here across from the pool. There's an entrance you can just enter in, and they'll have all this stuff set up for the pictures there. Now, I will say on the days that we have pictures, there's a good chance that there's going to be some people playing pickleball. And so I do ask that if you would please stay off the pickleball court side of the Airnasium, just because that way, if there's people out there playing, they can go, as well as cleats not scuffing up floors or anything on that side of the court. Moving right along, as far as what is needed for the first practice. So as far as the YMCA, we will provide the shirt for all the players. That'll have the sponsor on it, it'll have the YMCA, it'll have a number on the back and everything like that. What we ask the parents to provide are the shorts, as well as cleats when possible. We also, if you can, provide a bat, a helmet, or and a glove. Really, mainly the glove is the main thing that if you can, that's what I would encourage getting first. If you have the opportunity to get a bat, feel more than welcome to go ahead. And then the helmet, we will have helmets, but some players want to bring their own, and so that is welcome as well. If you bring any of those things, please, 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 please make sure that your child's name and even a phone number or something to contact you at would be in there, just because sometimes it gets mixed up with our stuff. That way we can make sure to separate it out. If there's a child that does not have any of those, we will have some extra we'll have some extra gloves, some extra helmets, some extra bats that can be used during the practices and games. So we will have those things. The main thing that we're concerned about as far as uniform is on the picture day. If you would please wear black shorts or baseball pants, the coach will kind of communicate that with you. And I know not everybody is able to purchase baseball pants, but in that event, if you would please wear black shorts on the picture day, just so that way everybody is uniform in those things. Moving right along, I'm going to go back over here, share here. That way we can jump over and show you our Y game time. So we've got 2 different ways that we try and use as a program to communicate with our parents, sending reminders, updates on weather, different things like that. One of those is should be on the screen right now. It is our Y game time. So you can go to ygametime.com, the link provided up here. It will bring you to this page. You would just type in Tift area. For some reason, the zip code does not work. It has to be branch name. Type in Tift area. It will pull up Tift area YMCA. It will bring you to this page right here, where you can then hit sign up, choose a program, spring T-ball, 3 to 4, 5 to 6-year-olds. And you can sign up from there, enter your phone number, and that way when we send reminders and alerts, it will send those directly to your phone. It'll send a text message after you sign up for that. The other way that we have communicating with parents is through our weather hotline. If you played with us before, you've heard this number, but it is 229-528-9109 is our weather hotline. we will update that with information, just letting everybody know, hey, just an update, games are still good to go for today, or, we'll make a call at X time whether games are good to go for today or not. In most of those cases, we try and do it 30 to 45 minutes in advance, just because I do know that there's some parents that are having to travel a little bit, um, and we want to wait. Sorry, excuse me there. Like I was saying, as far as with the weather hotline, we will just let everybody know and kind of keep them updated through that number 229-528-9109 is the best way to get updates there. All right, just a few more things to talk about, kind of rules, expectations. I'm not going to go through everything in detail, but I did just want to kind of give you a few of the more specific updates. So we've got went through all this with the coaches during the coaches meeting, but the main thing with our season is we want to make this fun and enjoyable in a instructive environment for everybody else, for all the players, and allow them to enjoy it so that they want to continue playing baseball or softball or whatever else that might be in years to come. But what we have, so generally our games are going to go 45 minutes. We try and let everybody bat at least twice is what we try and shoot for. In some cases that might shift up or down a little bit, but we generally try and shoot to allow everybody to do that twice. I will also say we have allow everybody to bat each inning. And in T-ball, there are no outs. So everybody gets to run all the bases. They'll run one base at a time all the way until the last batter bats. Then everybody runs around. In the 3 to 4 year olds, I encourage you coaches, hey, just, try and get the ball. Once the player gets it, try and get them to give it back to you, wherever that might be. In the 5 to 6 year olds, we said as the season progresses, if you can kind of start, teaching them to throw it to first base, maybe to a coach or a player there to kind of simulate what is to come in the future years. That way they can start building, once again, some of the fundamental basics. But even if they do get it there, quote unquote, before the player arrives, there is not going to be an out. They just get to keep on progressing through. It'll be kind of used as a teaching experience to help build for years to come. All the batters will be required to wear a helmet just for safety. I know I don't want anybody to get hit in the head, and so we have all of our batters, as they're running the base, we just ask them all to wear the safety helmets that we'll provide. Also, as far as with the parents during the practices and game days, if you would please, if you wouldn't mind helping your coach. I know a lot of times 10 to 12, 3 to 4, 5 to 6 year olds is a lot for one person to try and handle by themselves. And so, during the days, if you wouldn't mind maybe just being an extra person to maybe go stand at a base that the coach can say, all right, run to first base to this parent. And that way, when they get there, you can tell them, all right, run to second base to this parent. And if parents wouldn't mind helping that would help take a lot of the load off of the coach so they can focus at the batter's box, kind of teaching them how to hit rather than trying to wrangle in those that might have wanted to stray or different things like that. So if you wouldn't mind helping the coaches, that would mean a lot to me, and I know that would mean a lot to the coaches as well, just in making things go further through there. And then lastly, like I said, there are no outs, and so we do not keep score. And so we just ask that, all the parents on the sidelines, if you would, just keep all the comments to praise and support, encouraging the children rather than trying to bring anybody down. I know we won't have that with all of you guys, but I did at least just want to mention that, just so that way we can all be on the same page with those things. The last thing I have for you today, like I said earlier, if you are a 3 to 4 year old parent and are willing to help coach, or even if there's you and another parent that your children want to be on the same team and you want to help coach, if you would email me, that way we can get the teams finalized and get them out, so that way everybody knows their team before next Tuesday. And then lastly, if you are a parent that is interested in sponsoring, I believe think I want to say most of the 5 to 6-year-olds are sponsored. But if you have a 3 to 4-year-old that you are interested in sponsoring, please just let me know. Do that by email as well. Other than that, we will see you next week. I'm just going to repeat my email, seth@tiftareaymca.org. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to email me there. We will see you next Monday or Tuesday. Thanks and have a blessed day.